My dear friends, today we celebrate the 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year C. Life is full of invitations, but not all doors stay open forever. Today's readings remind us that God's call is for everyone, yet entering His kingdom requires a personal, wholehearted response. The first reading, taken from the book of the prophet Isaiah, is a beautiful and powerful vision of God's plan for the whole world. God declares that He knows the works and thoughts of all people. His desire is to gather all nations and tongues so that they may see His glory. This is not just about Israel, it is about a worldwide invitation. People from every language and background are called to come to Jerusalem to witness the greatness of the Lord. He then sends some of these people out as messengers to distant lands, places that had not yet heard of Him. Their mission is to proclaim His glory to others. It is striking that the ones who have just come to know God are now sent to tell others about Him. Even more surprising, God says He will make some of these outsiders, priests and Levites, roles traditionally reserved only for Israelites. The historical context here is important. In Isaiah's time, Israel understood itself as God's chosen people, and contact with other nations was often seen as dangerous or corrupting. But in the reading, God promises a future where people from every nation become part of His people. Faith isn't about where you come from, but how you respond to God. This passage challenges us to see God's kingdom as bigger than our own community, culture, or comfort zone. It also calls us to be ready to go where God sends us. Our faith should naturally overflow into mission. Finally, it reminds us that in God's eyes, no one is an outsider. He can raise up leaders, servants, and messengers from any background. In the second reading taken from the letter to the Hebrews, the author reminds believers that the term discipline does not mean punishment alone, but the whole process of training. Much like how a loving parent corrects and guides a child for their growth. The trials and hardships faced by the Christian community are projected as evidence of God's fatherly care. Endurance in such moments shows that we are His true children. Though discipline is painful at the moment, over time, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace in those who are trained by it. The audience of Hebrews was weary from persecution and tempted to give up. The author reframes their suffering not as abandonment by God, but as His loving preparation, shaping them to be more like Christ. This passage challenges our instinct to see hardship only as misfortune. God's discipline is not rejection, but a sign of belonging. Like a skilled coach pushing an athlete beyond their comfort zone, God works through trials to build our spiritual endurance, integrity, and peace. When we face struggles, be it illness, injustice, or personal failure, it can be tempting to lose heart. But the author invites us to view these as part of God's training plan, not meaningless pain. If we submit to His guidance, our suffering can bear fruit, making us steadier, kinder, and stronger in faith. Imagine you are all excited about a new movie that has just been released in the theaters. You make calls and plan to go for the movie with your friends that evening. You then spend time dressing up, putting on your best clothes, perfume, and shoes. You meet up with your friends and go to the theater, and there you see the sign, house full. We hear about something similar in today's gospel taken from Luke. As Jesus was traveling from town to town teaching, someone asked him, Lord, are only a few people going to be saved? Jesus didn't give a simple yes or no answer. Instead, he said, strive to enter through the narrow door. Why is the door narrow? This narrow door isn't about God making it hard just for the sake of it, but calls us to make real choices. When faced with situations that make us angry, how often do we stay calm? When faced with people who are better and more successful than us, how often do we give in to jealousy? When faced with situations to tell the truth, how often have we given way to lying? Or when faced with the need to work hard, how often have we given way to laziness and pushed things away for later? The word strive Jesus uses comes from the idea of agonizing effort, like an athlete striving to win a race. It's not automatic or easy, and there are distractions and temptations that can pull us away. Jesus makes it clear that simply knowing about Him or being around Him isn't enough. It's about truly knowing Him and following His teachings from the heart. But there's good news too. Jesus says people will come from the east, west, north, and south to take their place in God's kingdom. So while the door is narrow, it's open to everyone. No matter where you're from or what you've done, if you come with a true heart. We are reminded not to glide through life assuming we are safe because of habit, heritage, or association. Salvation is personal. It is the daily choice to love God above all and to love our neighbor without excuse. The narrow door is open today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Step through it now before the sign reads house full. May God bless us all.